Wildmen feature prominently across the flourished scrolls of ancient Europe. Described as men of the forest, they were the antithesis of civilization, shaped like humans but were beasts in mind and method. They are a fascinating piece of artistic history and ripe for inspiration. How could something like that exist if it was a natural animal? How about we make our own Wildmen? I'm Sawyerly, and welcome back to Titanstride, my series covering the giants, monstrous primates, and near-human animals of the Dragonslayer Codex world. Today's episode has us at the edge of a land known as Grottodeep, a forest that harbors many secrets. This woodland is comparable to Earth's Atlantic Ocean in size and is rumored to be just as deep. These woods get progressively denser as one goes on, and every 100 miles are said to house thousands of undiscovered species, both great and small. The forest is a haven for many small animals, as the largest of dragons are unable to fly or move swiftly within the thickest branches. There is an argument that humanity began here, under the protection of the canopy. There exist humans here today, scattered clans that eat robust frogs and dainty birds. The protection of the woods harbors the tallest of giants as well. The earliest of recorded texts tell an interesting tale. They read as follows, quote, "The sobs of worms drew the first men gazing from their holes, and they beheld the first of slayers, and were baptized in the tears." End quote. Excerpt from Origins of the Slayers. This text describes the emboldening of humanity to build and expand underground, inspired greatly by sightings of dragons battling giants, which to them were untouchable predators. Innovations in Slayer weapons and tactics are fueled greatly by the knowledge that our nearest relatives are fighting outside right now. The species of giant attributed to this excerpt was given the same name, First of Slayers, or First Slayers for short. Named as the founding members of humanity's courage, they are quite the sight indeed. Considered the tallest giant, the males are comparable to the trees they walk among. Plants grow in the cracks of hardened skin on their legs, furthering this tree-like visage and hiding them rather well in their habitat. First Slayers are incredibly sexually dimorphic. The males and females look and act differently. At initial read, males are identified by their plum, bruise-like coloration, reddish face, and completely bipedal stance. They lumber and are not agile, but very strong. Females are a very bright red, slimmer than the males and much faster. They have the ability to support their weight on all four limbs, enabling them agility one would not expect from a giant. In this way, females are comparable to the very derived strangler giant we've covered before. Female First Slayers are able to walk bipedally, but may prefer the comfort of four limbs. Now, this is all well and good, but you may ask, what brought about this change? Defense. At the sizes they are, First of Slayers are tempting targets for large predatory dragons found in the area. This size is a deterrent from most predation, but they still must be able to defend themselves. This is where they employ offensive defense. At the sight of an attacking dragon, the nimble females rush out to chase and distract their foe, throwing rocks and branches. They lead it towards the male, who, in his immense power, is able to crush the dragon underfoot and feed the group on worm flesh. This tactic is not dissimilar to that of lion prides, where the females lead the hunt. First Slayers, however, are not exclusively carnivorous. They feed mostly on vegetation, particularly a plant called white knuckle. The chemicals within are repulsive to nearly all dragon species, and are eaten by these giants, making dragons recoil after taking a bite. They drape strands of the plant over their bodies on occasion, both for ease of access and passive dragon deterrent. Their eyes are well adapted to a watchful lifestyle too. Their usual position is horizontal, scanning the landscape below for enemies or plants. To focus on a dragon in the air or underfoot, the pupils sharpen to a small circular pinprick, focused and angry. It is possible to tell the emotion of a First Slayer by how circular or horizontal the eye is. Such visual acuity is a blessing and a curse. While they can zero in on a target in high detail, The fire thrown from a dragon's throat can harm their vision and disrupt their slumber. To cope, perhaps they would benefit from a sleep mask? Possibly from Manta Sleep, our sponsor. Manta Sleep has sent me the pro version of their mask, their best seller. After trying it a few nights myself, I can honestly say that I loved it. Manta's masks are cushioned and soft and feel good on the eyes. I usually dislike how mask bands feel around my head as I sleep, but Manta Sleep masks are not only adjustable, but lay on the skull in a way that can only be described as ergonomic. Manta Sleep was kind enough to toss in some steam eye cups for my sample, which I found incredibly helpful as my skin dried out in the cold. If you want to rest easy, free from the distractions of dragon fire, or even simply a bright light, travel, what have you, I urge you to visit Manta Sleep using my code for 10% off of your order. Thank you, Manta Sleep. Now, back to the video. All of the beast's adaptations point to a higher intelligence among the giants, something hotly debated among scholars. Whether they are like huge men or clever beasts is shrouded in mystery, not helped by how incredibly elusive they are. They are the largest giants, yet have silent, padded footsteps and the ability to practically vanish into the ocean of trees. They don't seem to have any business with humans, in stark contrast to the amicable glacier giant. First Slayers will avoid cities if possible, but will not attack. They seem unsure what to think of us. Evidence of their intelligence is found in a variety of tools that they leave behind, which raises more questions than answers. Their function is completely unknown. Abstract shapes and unusual features make it hard to tell what these are for. Some rattle, some are denser than they look, others break easily. They are found on giant trails left from their night beds, formed from felled trees. When a human of the forest clan dies, a totem representing them is left at the edge of the woods. This totem is believed to harbor the soul of the past warrior. It must pass a final test. Cross the spirit world of that endless woodland called the Deep Grotto, all 3,000 kilometers. If it makes the journey, the soul will become a first of Slayers themselves and carry the legacy of humanity's courage. Writing giants has become something deeply poetic to me. In my mind, they become more than just spec animals, and reflect parts of ourselves that we may wish to emulate or even despise. I hope you enjoyed it. Titanstride is a series that will accumulate into its own book, but if you'd like to check out the first part of this world's journey, the Dragonslayer Codex Volume 1 was available on Kickstarter. It was a successful campaign, and I'm thrilled to finally get these out to you guys. Stay tuned for the rest of that. Thank you extra to my top patrons listed here, and all of my patrons. I love you all, and I could not have been able to do this without you. See you all in the next video. Until next time.